This is a message about God's love for you. God loves you. It doesn't matter what you did, where you are in life, whether you hate God, whether you've turned your back on God, whatever you've committed, whether you've killed someone, whether you've tortured, or whether you're a good person, or whether you've done bad things. God loves you unconditionally. And it doesn't matter what you did, God loves you just as much as everybody else. Because every person on this planet is God's children. And sometimes people do hate God, and sometimes people get mad at God, and sometimes some people don't even believe in God. But, God loves you no matter what. God's love is unconditional. And, well, I just want to also mention my blog, jacobpersico.wordpress.com. And right now, today I started a post that I haven't posted yet called Flesh versus Spirit. So I'm going to be posting that pretty soon on my blog. So when I go to church, a lot of times after I go to church, I'm spiritually uplifted, by I talk with God, listen to the music, and I feel close to God because I listen to the music and I feel God speak to me, and what the pastor says, what the pastor says will speak to me. The pastor mentioned the Prodigal Son, and that's a very important, that's a special story about, and God feels the same way about you as that father feels about his prodigal son. The prodigal son starts in the book of Luke, chapter 15, verse 11. Then he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falls to me. So he divided to them his livelihood. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together, journeyed to a far country, and there wasted his possessions with prodigal living. So the son was like, I want to be on my own. I don't want to still be living with you, Dad. Just give me what is owed to me. Give me my portion. Give me my percentage. And I'll just take it and just go live on my own and without the rest of my family. But when he had spent all, there arose several famine in the land, and he began to be in want. Then he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. And he would gladly have filled his stomach with the pods that the swine ate, and no one gave him anything. So he's poor now. But when he came to himself, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? My father's servants, even the lowly people, even the people that are lowly under his father, they have something to eat, and he doesn't. He's starving. I will rise and go to my father, and will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was still a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And that's the way God is. As soon as you turn back to God, you might have said all sorts of nasty things to God. You might have said all sorts of nasty things about God. You might have blasphemed God. But as soon as you turn to God, God, that's the way God's going to be. That's the way God is, to run to you and hug you and kiss you. And that's what God wants for all of us. And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight, and am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servant, Bring out the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet. And bring the fatted calf here and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. His son was dead, not literally dead, but out of his life. He was lost and is found, and they began to be merry. Now his older son was in the field, and as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said to him, Your brother has come, and because he has received him safe and sound, your father has killed the fattest calf. But he was angry, so that the brother's angry, and would not go in. Therefore his father came and pleaded with him. So he answered and said to his father, Lo, these many years I have been serving you. I never transgressed your commandments at any time, and yet you never gave me a young goat, and I might make merry with my father. So the brother's jealous. The brother that was not the prodigal son. But as soon as this son of yours came, who has devoured your livestock with harlots, you killed the fatted calf for him. And so the father says to him something very important. And he said to him, he being the father, Son, you are always with me, and all that I have is yours. It was right that we should make merry and be glad, for your brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found. New King James Version. So it shows the love for a father for their son. And parents love their children. And even if a child goes astray, when that child comes back, it's welcome. I imagine you could feel that same way about a friend, or if you have children. If you lose touch with a friend and they come back, they might say, I haven't been in your life, I'm sorry, whatever. But you're going to welcome them with open arms. And I felt like I should make this message about that God loves all of us the same, every person on earth. And sometimes it can be hard to love each other, but God, Jesus, wants all his brothers and sisters, all the people on earth, to just get along and love each other and be, just be okay with each other. Not have resentment and hatred and anger and dislike. And he just wants us all to love each other and just be friends, is what Jesus wants. And the world is, it's got much turmoil in it, and that's part of the earth. That's part of the way the world is. And the turmoil is for us to overcome and defeat. And that's what I see, the part of the reason for the turmoil is because some positive things can come out of the turmoil, like songs that have meaning and movies and stuff like that. But it's also something for us to overcome, and the devil will get us down, and our anger will make us hate. But Carl Anthony has a song, One Prayer. If we take revenge, we're going to become that. So it can be hard to fight that evil in the world, but the main way to fight evil is right to the source. So when we hate someone, or we feel anger or hatred, we have to get to the source of our hatred, and we have to overcome that with love and realize that we're all special in this world, that we're all loved by God. You know, no matter, sometimes people do things that are really terrible. It makes us very angry. You know, I've done really bad things myself, but you know, everybody has. But the way to fight the evil is to overcome this hatred, and we need to rid ourselves of the hatred first, and we need to be an example for a world without hate, and that should be the ultimate goal towards a better world, towards a world that's living right, is a world that doesn't hate anymore. And if we could all get rid of our hatred, you know, that would be, you know, getting rid of evil. That would be miraculous. And, you know, it's something that we all need to work towards. So if you like this video, leave a like. Check out my blog, jacobpersico.wordpress.com. Links in the description. Okay, take care. Happy New Year.